assignment on this prime composite and square numbers worksheet is to begin with something called the Sin of Aristophanes, which is what that says. And it's an ancient method for finding all prime numbers. And in our situation, it says up to a specified number, and we're going to find all the prime numbers from 1 to 100. So there's directions right here that you're to follow for homework. I'm going to start the directions using a highlighter to do the crossing out. And at the end of the day, whatever is not crossed out will be a prime number. So if we read the top paragraph, it says the Sin of Aristophanes is an ancient method for finding all prime numbers up to a specified number. It was created by Aristophanes, an ancient Greek mathematician. And just as a sieve is a strainer, so a strainer, it's kind of like if you are panning for gold, you might have a little pan that has holes in it, and when you scoop up out of the water, like in a creek bed, only the rocks would stay in the pan because it has holes in it, or like a strainer you might find in your kitchen. So the idea is that this method will sort of sift everything out except for the prime numbers. So here's the process. The directions tell you exactly what to do. So cross out 1 since it is not a prime number. So I'm going to cross that out. Circle 2 because it is the smallest prime number. So I'm going to circle 2. But since 2 is a prime number, all of its multiples could not be. So after we circle 2, because it's the smallest prime number, we're going to cross out. I'm using those close reading strategies and boxing the things I have to do. I'm going to cross out every multiple of 2. So if I just went through that process, I'd cross out 4 and 6 and 8 and 10 and 12 and 14 and 16 and 18 and 20. But as you see, all the multiples of 2 are under these even numbers. So the easiest way to do that is just cross out the whole list. These are all the multiples of 2. So we've done step 1 and we've done step 2. So we're going to go to step 3. Circle the next open number. So if we work left to right, the next open number is 3. So I've done that. Now cross out, again, every multiple of 3. So if I count by 3s, 3, 6, some of them are already crossed out, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. Some of you may see a pattern already. 30, 33, 36, 39, 42. And if you're really careful, you'll see a pattern on the diagonal. 45, 48, 51, 54. Do you see the pattern yet? 57, 60. So if I kept going, And following the pattern, 63, 66, 69, 72, 75, 78, 81, 84, 87, 90, 93, 96, and 99. If you look carefully, the pattern was the diagonals. These numbers are all on the diagonals. Those are all the multiples of 3. Straight through the diagonals. Here's another diagonal. Here's another diagonal. So numbers, when we do multiples, even show up in geometric patterns. So we're done with step 3. Step 4 says, circle the next open number. So now the next open number is 5. Now cross out every multiple of 5. So I'm going to cross out my multiples of 5 in kind of a light orange. That's easy. They end in anything that ends in a 5 or a 0. So a lot of them are already crossed out. So I've done step 4. You're going to complete this process on this paper, and then when you finish this process, continue this process until all the numbers in the table have been circled or crossed out. You have just circled all the prime numbers. So, for example, so far, we know that 2 is the smallest prime, and then 3 is the next smallest prime, and then 5 is the next smallest prime. If I look at step 5, it says circle the next open number, which is 7. So 7 is the next smallest prime. And now you have to cross out every multiple of 7. But I'm going to leave the rest of this to you to finish this worksheet.